I'm doing a biochar burn because I have a bunch of fir cones and bark and little pieces of wood in a circle next to my bridge for Gary to get into the house, and the bridge needs to be replaced, so it's going to be replaced this summer, and the circle of fir cones and bark needs to be moved. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm not doing a fire every night, so I can't make it in my kiln in the wood stove. So I'll just do it in the barrel. And so what I've done is I've filled up 12 buckets of fir cones and bark and sticks and twigs into this barrel. And then I start a fire on the top. It's called a T-lud, which is a top lit updraft. Underneath the bottom there, you can see it's raised up on bricks. Those bricks keep the bottom up so the airflow can come from the bottom, where I've got 40 holes drilled in the bottom of the barrel. So the air comes in through the bottom and supplies the fire on the top. But the fire on the top never gets enough oxygen from these holes in order to turn the fir cones and bark into ashes. So what I end up with is a barrel full of fir cones and bark turned into carbon, charcoal. And that's what I've been using in my bags to clean the water. So you can see it's a complete clean burn. The only smoke I get is in the very, very beginning when I'm starting up the fire, and that's minimal. And then once the fire gets started, I spread the coals across the top of the wood and I let it burn. It should be a fairly quick burn because it's not a lot of substance in there. It's a lot of fluffy stuff like, bark and stuff. So when I do it with 2x4s, I pack it really tight with the 2x4s, and it usually takes like 2.5 hours. This, I'm suspecting, will only take maybe a half an hour. And then what I do is I take the chimney and the retort, which is that extra piece on top that circles the heat and the smoke back down into the fire, and then it comes out the chimney is just methane. So it's a really clean burn. But once that fire has made it to the bottom, and I can tell because the black on the barrel will work its way down to the bottom, I will then put the lid that's over there on the barrel and weigh it down with a rock or two, and then it'll go out. I take the bricks out from underneath, put it on the ground, I shovel some dirt around the edge so there's no air getting in, and then I just let it cool down on its own. And then in a couple of hours, I'll be able to check on it, and it'll just be charcoal. And then I will have lots and lots of charcoal to make bags so that other people can put these bags around their shoreline in Shawnigan Lake and see what it does. But fun, 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 fun. I love nothing more than burning up the stuff that's lying around my property and turning it into something completely and utterly functional. Isn't it awesome? Love when things come together.